In this video we're looking at how we can add fractions that have different denominators. So here we've got 2/4 and here we've got 3/8. Now if the denominators were the same, supposing they both had 4's here as the denominators, we would simply add the numerators together. But as they are different, you'll see that they represent different sizes of pieces. So for instance here we've got our 2/4. If I just drag them onto there, it doesn't make a lot of sense for my answer. What would the answer be? So instead what we need to do is convert one of these fractions to have the denominator of the other fraction. So I'm always going to work with the one that has the lower denominator, this one, and make that denominator and this whole fraction into a number of 8's in this case, or the other fraction's denominator. To do that, we need to identify how many pieces, how many times bigger it gets, by looking at how we make this denominator into this denominator. Now, here's my 2/4, here are my 8's. I need to find a number of 8's that are the same or represent the same amount as these 2/4. So, I'm going to drag my 8's over until they fill the same amount as the quarters. And there we go. It's taken 4 8's, 1, 2, 3, 4, to represent the same amount of 2/4. So what I can do now is down here I'm going to rewrite the calculation. Now I've got the 8's in here. So here I can put my 4 8's, and then here I'm going to keep my original 3/8 from up here. And now it's a much easier calculation to do. So 4 8's add 3/8 just means we need to add the numerators, and 4 plus 3 is 7, and my denominator will now not change, so that's going to stay as 8, and that's my answer. All we've done to this fraction is multiply both parts of it by 2 to make it have the same denominator. So 4 multiplied by 2 is 8, and then we have to do the same to the numerator. 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. As long as we can identify what the denominator needs to be multiplied by to change to the other fraction's denominator, we can work these out very easily. So our answer here is 7/8. There's a couple of questions here for you to have a go at. So you've got an addition here, 1/3 plus 2/6, and there's space there while I show you the answer. And there's 1/3 take away 2/9. So you'll need to convert these thirds into an equivalent fraction that has the denominator for each one at the bottom. If you pause the video now, I'll reveal the answers in just a moment when you start it again. So these are your answers. If we look here, this 1/3, to change that into 6 we have to times it by 2. So 3 times 2 is 6, and 1 times 2 is 2, and then we just add on the other 2 6 we already had up here, and that's 4/6. This one we had 1/3 and 2/9. This time the 3 needs to be multiplied by 3 to make 9, so 3 times 3 is 9, and 1 times 3 is 3. This hasn't changed, the 2/9 come down here, and we've got 3/9 take away 2/9 is 1/9. Hopefully that helps.